Good evening, myself for Graham.
Skazz.
Welcome to episode 246 of the Randos podcast.
246. Oh my god.
Yes.
No, you didn't miss that, did you? You didn't miss it at all.
No. How are we, Skazz?
I'm alive.
That's all we can hope for.
I didn't. Can I just throw out there? You know how I used to get really gripey about technology companies going, "Hey yo, you haven't used this account for more than 5 minutes. We're deleting it."
Yeah.
I'm going nuts and finding out everywhere does it now.
Apparently so.
To the point I'm losing money.
Oh, good. Oh, how nice.
Because apparently, if you don't do anything with bank accounts for a while, they get kind of stiffed, and then phone numbers get stiffed, and then companies can apparently sign you up for new contracts without you asking.
You probably put it probably in your old contract that said you could do it. They could do it.
Yeah, probably. That's what you get for not renewing, folks.
Please refer yourself to subclause 5.6, which says at any point in time we can bend you over and shove up your ass.
Pretty much. So I'm quite sore today, actually. No, I'm not. I've had a busy day dealing with paperwork all day. But how are you?
I am a little bit frazzled. Work's been intense. I'll give you an example of how frazzled I was on Tuesday night. So I have a rucksack with my laptop in it and all my bits and pieces that I go with my work laptop, and in there I also
put it in the bar.
Well, in there I also put in my lunchbox, which is a little foldy thing, and it has a little freezer pack in it that you put in the freezer. So I go home, the lunchbox comes out of the bag, freezer pack goes in the freezer, so that basically that gets cold and frozen next day. On Tuesday night, I got home, took out the laptop, and put it in the freezer.
I thought you were going to go there. I was like, let me guess. He's going to latte panda his laptop.
I mean, I realised about 10 seconds later after I closed up, I thought, that's my laptop. That's not
work laptop.
That's my work laptop. Yes, not my lunch bag. So I retrieved the laptop, put that back in the bag where it belonged.
As you start typing on some stodgy sandwiches.
Yeah, put that back, and then put did sort my sort of thing out. So yeah, brain it's better today than it was yesterday. My brain switched. I went to bed at 9 o'clock yesterday.
Oh, good job, man.
Yeah, so,
showing your age.
Yeah, that's it's basically it. You know, it's just like, I just can't be asked now. I was saying to one of the Tuesday night, same night I did the laptop. I did the old dad thing of falling asleep in front of the TV.
Oh, mate, yeah. Bless you.
Fell asleep at 6:30, woke up at 10, and I thought, I better go to bed now.
Mate.
But
loving the change, eh?
Oh yes. And I'm dreaming of the work as well. I just dream of talking to people on the phone. And arguing with them. It's great.
I'll pass, mate. I'll stick to dreaming of VR chat.
Yeah,
if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Perhaps that's the thing we should introduce, VR chat.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't, if I had to be honest. Like all of the office workers that were working remotely, and they're like, "Oh, everyone get into the office again." I'm very surprised that companies haven't adopted something like VR chat for like online meetings and that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. But then you'd have to supply. I mean, that's basically they supply cheapo laptops out there. They don't supply a cheapo headset as well that works with the laptop.
No, but then think about it, because VR chat has got a standalone Quest app.
That's true. Yes.
So you could get away with just giving them a punt on a refurbed Quest 2, or like obviously because they're buying them in bulk, they could get Quest 2s on discount.
Yeah.
And all you'd have to do is they could create a meeting room if there weren't one already, and then just get everyone in there.
Yeah. Some sort of just
and then you could be a smart ass and put on like full body tracking and all that, and start dancing on the table.
Yeah. I just got the idea then. I've just got the dystopian vision of like obviously people who like perhaps because obviously if you're in the office you have to join the meeting as well. I've just got a vision of which walking through the office and just seeing all these people wearing VR headsets just staring at nothingness.
And wouldn't surprise me. I mean, like I reckon at some point that might be a thing.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously like Meta was trying to do that thing with getting the Quest Pro to do like screen extension from like laptops and all that. And Apple do the same kind of thing with Vision Pro. So
Yeah.
you whap on your Vision Pro or your Quest Pro or whatever, and you look at your laptop, and it will extend virtual displays off either side.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
I'm surprised. Actually, I can't. I'm surprised that like more companies have done like sort of like virtual showrooms. Like say
Hmm.
if you're a car dealership, you could have like a virtual show where people come and look at like a. You can have a very sort of highly rendered version of the car because be in the room. They can have a sort of look round of it, sort of like get an idea of sort of size scale before they see it in the flesh, as it were.
I think some people have done that with 3D modeling of like cars interiors.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they have done that in some area, but like a full showroom, not that I'm aware. But I mean, it would be neat, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I also said at the time, well, I always said that while I used to work, we used to do kitchen design. And so people, I said, I think they should invest in some VR headsets for every store. You only need like one or two per store. And as part, link up in your kitchen design, set up
Hmm.
so it can be loaded into a rendering engine like Unreal would work. And so you can design someone's kitchen, load it, it generates an Unreal file that Unreal could just run, and then
Yep.
you just put the headset on, and they could just wander around their brand new kitchen. And you can make everything sort of like all the drawers stuff interactive. So people could like, open the drawers up, and so if you could do all that on it. I mean, we used to do for, like 3D cameras, you could sort of virtually walk through like on the screen, but the rest was actually like
Yeah.
sort of have a little area still sort of cordoned enough. People could actually walk around their brand new kitchen.
Yeah.
I always thought that would be a good idea. Get an idea sort of scale.
One day, man.
One
Living the
day.
dream.
One day. One day. So. Well, have you been up to much in Skazz apart from fighting tech giants?
Oh, mate. Done. Well, actually, no, it was not tech giants per se. Communication corpo bastards.
Okay.
To be honest. But yeah, apparently a rebrand has happened, and because rebrands have happened, old accounts are no longer accessible, or that they're doing stuff to a back end of their systems, and in doing so has broken things for legacy customers. And now legacy customers are told to go fuck themselves. So
Nice.
that's kind of fun. That happens these days. Don't worry about it, folks. Don't worry. Just keep watching YouTube and TikTok. Everything will be fine. So
Yes.
I've had a bit of a flaky time, to be honest. Ram, I'm not really in the gaming groove. I've not really done much as far as audio video is concerned. However, just randomly, you must have heard that Apple is now allowing emulators on their app stores.
I had heard that was
And
in the pipeline.
yeah, they're on there. There's some of the bigger ones that could work on the iPhone aren't there because there's no JIT compiler support. What is that? Just in time compiling, JIT. Anything that requires JIT, so like Dreamcast, and I think the Dolphin emulator, which is GameCube and Wii, that stuff isn't supported. So anything that requires that stuff, like let's say Dreamcast, Wii, GameCube, that stuff doesn't work on like an iPhone or an Apple TV or whatever. But a lot of other stuff, like up to Sega Saturn and all that, kind of the same kind of stuff you could run on a cheap emulation handheld or a middle of the road emulation handheld. You can do everything on the iPhone, which is pretty neat. Even though, as I say, there's enough power to do GameCube and all that without the compiler support, no groove. But that got me thinking. I always said I wouldn't do much of any gaming on my phone these days. I used to back in the day. Do you remember Epic Citadel?
Yeah.
Which was an Unreal tech demo to show like what the iPhone was capable of doing, like really pretty stuff for the time. I'd played around with games on phones back then, and I swung to Android because of emulation and kind of the more openness of it. But gaming became a thing that I said I wouldn't do on the phone because of people constantly calling me. I had this issue up until quite recently where my phone would ring constantly. It was to the point that I actually had 3 separate phone numbers. I had an emergency number, a work number, and then a personal number. And I'd kind of filter which number people would get to try and curb the phone calls, so that if obviously I didn't want to answer a certain phone call, like a certain phone or a certain type of phone call, just turn off the phone, put it to the side, like, oh yes, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, turn off the phone, put it on the side, you're disconnected now. That kind of stuff ain't going to happen. Thankfully, these days, people have kind of changed their grooves. Some other stuff has changed, so I don't have to worry about it. My phone barely rings at all anymore. Thank you. But it got me interested in the idea of mobile gaming and in-house streaming. Now, in-house streaming, I'll get to next podcast, but it did open up the idea of trying Sony's PlayStation 5 in-home streaming. They've had it since like PS4, where you get your console. Your console can be accessed remotely from your phone or like a PSP or a PS Vita, and it will stream the game over the internet to a handset. To like, as I say, to like a Vita or whatever. So you can play your PlayStation 4 games or whatever, or your PlayStation 5 games on one of those devices. Sony have just released a handheld. I can't remember what it's called, but it's literally just designed to do live streaming. So you just connect straight to your console, stream the game off your console to your handset, and you can play it when you're out and about. You can do that with a phone, and so I decided to kind of give that a go because I don't have a locked down setup at the moment. My PC is largely inactive. My gaming laptop is pretty much kind of in storage. Most of my gear is in storage or in limbo in somewhere or another. So I thought this will give me a chance to try using the PlayStation again. I had a little play with it. It's all right. I guess I'll get more into that in the next episode. But I figured I would take a crack at a game I've had since launch of PlayStation 4. It's kind of doing this has pulled me into trying games on a system that I've barely turned on. I have barely used the PlayStation 5 since we got it. This is a good excuse. I started playing Killzone Shadowfall.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, this game was released in 2013. So that's like I'm using a PlayStation 5 to play a launch title for the PS4.
Yeah, I only have played the original Killzone, which was PlayStation 2, I think it was.
Yes, it was. And then they had 2 and 3 on PlayStation 3. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what Killzone is, imagine Medal of Honor. Like very kind of early mid Medal of Honor, very kind of early console shooter style stuff. Instead of it being, allies versus the Nazis, it's Nazis in space.
Yeah,
basically.
Hellgast.
Yeah. I won't go into a huge amount of the story because it turns out there's a massive gap in my knowledge because Killzone Shadowfall is, I think, the 6th game in the series. I wasn't aware there were 6 games in the Killzone franchise. I knew of 5 of them, if you include this one, so I don't know where the hell the 6th one came from.
Because Killzone was meant to be Sony's Halo beta.
Yeah, there was Killzone 1 PS2, Killzone 2 PS3, Killzone 2 PS3, Killzone 3 PS3, Shadowfall, and then whatever that PlayStation Vita one was. Dude, there was no way this thing was a Halo beta. The early ones were good. Like Killzone 2 was good. Killzone 1, as I say,
I always
very much Medal of Honor style.
Yeah, I always remember playing Killzone 1, playing against the AI in co-op, and the AI was at the time was just terrifying. It was just so flank you and so forth. I remember me and mates playing, he absolutely trounced by it. We put on its hardest level.
Yeah, good times, huh?
Yeah. I'm sure, like most AI, once you learn how it thinks, it's probably easy to beat once you learned how it thinks. But I was like absolutely like, how the fuck did it figure out where I was? And the truth is, it probably cheated to a high extent. Probably how it did it.
Well, this is why right. So you might like this then. So the Killzone AI is a bit of a dick. As I say, if you've played Medal of Honor, Killzone plays very much like Medal of Honor games. Kind of I call them almost checkpoint shooters.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, you could clear a room full of enemies and more keep coming in, and more keep coming in, and more keep coming in. And the point of the game is for you to push past a certain point and then they stop coming.
Unless you get to those points where you have to kill some enemies before you can move on.
Yeah, and then yeah, but in a lot of cases, so I can remember in Killzone 2, there was a segment I was really struggling with, but instead of trying to fight them, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to sprint it." And once I sprinted past a certain point, the enemies behind me stopped spawning in, and the guys like the next set of guys started coming through. So I was able to quickly pick them off and just keep running, just keep moving. Because if you hunker down, you're going to be there for a long time, and it was a bit of a mess. Which is kind of the way that's like I said, that's the old way that old Medal of Honor games used to work. Even like, here's a mission 1, do this possible option mission, have at it. Right, that it wasn't kind of. It gives you the illusion of being open and dynamic like a Halo game, but it isn't. It's very much a you go here, go there. Looks like there's loads of places you can go, but there are invisible walls everywhere, and so COD does the same thing. I get that, but to say that it's a Halo killer, and yet Halo was much more open in a lot of areas. I mean, illusion of openness, really, but. There were ways that you could kind of skip around certain stuff.
Isn't Halo? I mean, I've briefly played Halo 1 briefly. Isn't Halo a bit more arcadey style, in sense a bit more fast paced, and actually, whereas Killzone's more air quotes realistic. You know,
Killzone is again very much more in the old school vein, like Medal of Honor. So, your health is going to get fucking whooped pretty quick. I think I remember the original Killzones needing health packs and stuff like that. Not so much the case in Shadowfall. But, as I said, there's a big gap in my knowledge, because I know of Killzone 1, I know of Killzone 2, and I thought I'd played Killzone 3. Apparently I haven't. I've got it, I just never played it. And this takes place after Killzone 3. Like 30 years after Killzone 3, and apparently the loose bit of story that I understand is that they kind of nuked the Helgast. They nuked Helgen or something, and it's now uninhabitable or something.
I mean, it wasn't particularly habitable to start with, to be fair.
No, it wasn't. And so they took the survivors, brought them to whatever planet they're on. I can't remember what it's called. And they said, "Here you go, lads. Have this section of the planet." Weird. And then anyone that already lived there, fuck off, you're now under Helgen rule if you don't leave. And then obviously the Helgers get back to their old tricks of effectively being Nazi Germany.
One thing you should say that the Helgars would be useful for and would be good at. They'd be alright doing COVID. Because they all wore masks, and so they would be fine.
All of them are masked up. They all follow the rules there, man.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, actually. What was one of the other things going on with the Helgen? What do they call them again? What do they? There's almost like a slur they use against the Helgen, but I can't remember what they called them.
The other memory of Killzone was Killzone 1's intro with the guy doing the speech was absolutely brilliant. I can't remember his name.
Because they are basically.
Yeah, he just that was so well written. It was so well done. So you could feel like it was like how it's all like would fire people up and inspire. You can see how it's meant to be sort of inspirational stuff. It's really well done, and you can see how those sort of speeches do work.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
When you're having a hard time and someone starts fucking like saying how it could be better and we're going to do it, people are going to go, fuck yeah, we want the good times. Yeah. Best time to get to someone's when they're at the lowest.
Yep. And fabricate a column enemy who is both the most powerful enemy out there, but also very easy and weak to defeat.
Yep. All right, but
Fascism 101.
So we've got the groove of the Helgen, right? I want to throw out there, I like Killzone, and I don't want to talk shit about this game too much. It's not Killzone. In fact, actually, Ram, it might be something you'd be more into. Because they tried to make Killzone a stealth game.
But it doesn't really suit Killzone.
No, it really fucking doesn't.
I mean, don't
And
get me wrong.
you can.
I like the idea of like sort of being sort of getting the drop on an enemy unit and stuff. I like that idea, but
Mm.
ultimately, fundamentally, once you go noisy, you go noisy.
Yeah, well, it's the same in this, to be fair.
Yeah,
But imagine incredibly cheap AI, as you know. So, oh mate, they know I'm here.
yeah, because they fucking
and,
cheat.
and once they know you're there, everyone within 5 miles knows exactly where you are.
Yeah. They've just
So
got
your only
really
option is to
good.
really
They've
go.
just got really, really good radios that everybody can hear, and they're very good at speaking really quickly. So in a split second, it takes the bullet to enter their brain and kill them. They can tell everybody you're there.
Yeah, really well. Exactly what you're wearing, exactly where you are.
Yeah,
Put sat nav to shame, mate.
yeah.
Um,
You see,
I'm,
across the
I'm skipping
whole,
the story.
yeah, across the whole Killzone Comdeck, also says, "Hi guys, I've just been shot in the head. His name's John. He's over there. He's got a red shirt on, black hat. And he's carrying AK. He's at location, longitude, latitude,
Yeah, I was going to
location."
say, and he gives you the exact coordinates, mate.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you might want to go get him. Anyway, I'm dead now. Bye.
No, tell my family I love them. Dead set to tell his mates where you are. But
I mean, I kind of would get that, to be fair. It's like, yeah, Profound loves me, but I really want you guys to get avenge me.
yeah, avenge me. But it's as you say, look, Killzone doesn't really fit stealth, but that's what they tried to do with this one. I'm gonna skip the story, just play it, because okay. Uh but you can tell it's a very, very early. You can tell it's like a launch PlayStation 4 game because it's got
Yeah.
all the gimmicks. PlayStation 4 comes with touch controls. Got to make sure that touchpad is used a lot. Graphics aren't exactly what you call fantastic, but they're not terrible either because obviously they've only just got the hardware in hand. Fucking jank as all balls. Jank as all balls. And the idea that anyone could have gone, this game is great. I like what it's doing. If they said that back in the day, you are completely full of it and you're chowing down on Sony's nuggies, I'm telling you. Because, ugh. Right. So we know that Killzone's AI is crap. My beef with this game is, right, tutorials. Tutorials, much like the old days, will go, blip, it's on the screen, blip, it's off the screen. Oh shit, what was that? I don't know what I'm doing. Do you want to reload the checkpoint to find out? If you're moving whilst that checkpoint comes up, if it's not triggered by you doing a specific thing to move on to the next part of the checkpoint, expect that thing to disappear pretty quick. Okay? So don't expect to find out what any of the new mechanics are, what any of the buttons are. They will just appear and disappear in
It's
seconds.
really important you read this message.
Oh,
Yes.
yep, there's gone.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Whatever you do, make sure you.
You're like, and there are a few times in early missions where I restarted checkpoints just to see if did I miss that? Was I just being really stupid? What did I do to make that thing go away? Those just appear and disappear like in a heartbeat. Okay, the enemies are cheap as all balls. Where you need to go isn't entirely obvious either. Okay, so it's not like Remedy style where it's pretty clear where you need to go, or like Valve style, it's pretty clear where you need to go. We've given you a bunch of branching paths, a couple of them are dead ends, you should have gone that way, dumbass. They do have is it like you press up on the D-pad and that kind of pings the next, puts this is where the next objective is kind of thing. But it appears for a split second and could literally appear in the back of a wall somewhere. So like, oh, hang on. Where was that? That looks like it's gone over there, but that's a dead end, or that's a cliff. Do I need to go over there? Instant death. Oh, okay. Or it'll go, jump over this gap. Because you'll automatically grab onto the next ledge or some stupid thing like that. And it will force you to watch. You could be running, right? And you'll jump, and there'll be like a 3-foot gap. you could have practically like hopped and stepped over that thing, right? Instead, he will automatically, the animation will play as though he almost didn't make the jump that you could have literally stumbled over.
Yeah.
And then he'll have to grab onto it and pull himself up. And he'll do this every fucking time. Whether you are running at it, you've got plenty of momentum, you'll just stop. Like in midair, you'll just stop. And grab hold of the ledge and climb back up again.
Excuse
Or if you're
me,
stood
I
at
have
the
an
ledge-
animation to play.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and it's fucking infuriating. It's not particularly clear where you have to go. It's a checkpoint shooter as well, which means that you could clear an area of enemies, reach an objective, then have to go back through that area. You'll turn around, and all of a sudden there's a squad of like 6 or 7 guys on you. The controls are utter dog shit. In my opinion, they're dog shite for stealth. They really are. Takedowns are automatic. So if you jump off of a crate or something, you will automatically like take them down as you land, right? If you like jump on an enemy, you'll take them down, they die. However, if you want to then do a follow-up takedown on his mate that's next to him, you have to press the melee button, which is R3, but that doesn't always trigger. Or, if you want to do a regular stealth takedown on someone, you have to get right up close to them to the point that you can sniff their armpits, and then it'll come up with R3 for melee takedown. You'll do the melee takedown, you can then do the follow-up takedown to doing their mate if it triggers. A lot of the time it doesn't. If it doesn't give you the context-sensitive button to say melee takedown this motherfucker, you will just literally like whack him in the back with the butt of your rifle, which in Halo would kill someone. I understand that's not realistic, but the fact that as soon as I kind of butt that guy with my rifle, he's gonna like go, there he is, and all of his mates know where I am. It kind of fucks with the idea that it's a stealth game.
Yeah.
You have to be so deliberate in taking down these enemies. You have a scanner which you can use to see through walls and like within a limited range. The longer you hold it, the further the range is on the thing, but if you go too far, it overheats or shorts out, which alerts all the enemies. If you don't use this, good luck getting around certain areas because enemies and security cameras will catch you in a heartbeat. If you want to stop them from like kind of getting you, they keep spawning in, you have to go and disable their alarm system. Which means you have to use this drone thing that you've got, which is where my next interface annoyance comes in. Because you've got this touch screen or touchpad on the controller, they want you to use like press up, and you can make it like swipe up, and that will set the drone into combat mode. Swipe left, that will set the drone into stun that motherfucker mode. Which is probably a mode I'm not using correctly because it doesn't seem to really do anything. Swipe right to use the grapple descent thing. So if you're like too high, you can go down to like another level on a level or on a stage and you're good to go or whatever to traverse obstacles or gaps or what the fuck ever, but you still have to be higher than the thing that you're trying to go to. You can't go the other way around like zipline up. You can only go down. It's just so fucking stupid. But when you select one of these interface options, like up, down, left, right, whatever, the icon for where it was on the screen and on like the up, down, left, right grid interface, that will appear on screen and then lights up every time you can use that ability. And there are cases whereby it will just stand there, like it will just go flicker on and off, on off, like just on off, on off, on off, on off, off, and you can see this like little icon just going grey, white, grey, white, grey, white, grey, white. It's like, what the fuck is this? And it's because, like, for example, combat, you can just let the drone go, and anywhere that it senses that you can let the drone go will be highlighted. It doesn't have to be an enemy or anything like that. It's just a thing. You can make the drone go towards that tree. You can make the drone go into that open space, and it will just flicker on and off continuously. The same with like the stun thing, and same with the zip line thing. The zipline thing's broken. It's outright broken. You can fire the zipline to go down to another area and find that you've ziplined to somewhere the game doesn't want you to go. It's like, like how there'll be like a not quite an invisible wall, but like there would have been no other way for you to have gotten there other than using that line.
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh shit, how do I get out of here without dying? Good luck. Or you've managed to use the zip line to get to a point where if you now move a step forwards or a step back, you're going to fall to your death. Or you've ziplined to somewhere that really just shouldn't be a place. But because the game has kind of gone, oh, there's a place that I can kind of stick the thing to. No, 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 yes, no, yes, no. Like it'll kind of like flicker on and off. You might go, oh, I could get down there. You hit it, and all of a sudden you're stuck. There's loads of little things like this. The game is full of tons and tons and tons of little bits of jank which drive me absolutely mental.
It feels like they got the mechanics down built in, but didn't have time to properly QA it before it had to be released as a launch game.
Sure. But I will say though, right, whilst all of these little things are jank, and like I said, the stealth is a bit shit, to be honest. When you look at, I imagine there's like a skill or a degree of jank you have to understand to be able to make this work, right? But one of the neat things is, once you clear an area of enemies, right, as best you can, you'll be surprised how many different ways you can get to a different area, or how you can navigate around a different area. Oh, look, here's an air vent here. I didn't see this before when there were 50 guys running at me. I could have snuck round here. Oh, hey, this is where that vent takes me. Or, oh, hey, here's a door that I didn't see before. Well, what happens if I go through? Oh, wow, there's a ladder there, and that takes me up there, which leads over to here. And, oh, I could have gone that way. Maybe I could have dodged enemy patrols. But just, it's so wobbly. Like, you can see what they were going for.
Yeah.
They just didn't do very well at it.
Yeah.
Oh, and when you get into combat, the music fucking changes, and if even one guy is still standing and he's 5 miles over that way, good fucking luck, because that music is going to keep playing that same repetitive fucking loop over and over and over until you silence that cunt. Until you find him and kill him, the combat music will play. Even if he's not running at you, even if he ain't fucking shooting at you, and the AI is thick as shit. They will see you from a fucking mile off, and they'll see you from like the other side of the planet, and they will just fucking run at you.
Yeah.
Or they'll stand there and they'll be like huddled by a rock going, oh, I'm not going to shoot him. But they'll be shouting at you. They'll be fucking shouting at you. You know they're there, but you can't fucking find them. And because the music is annoying the shit out of you, you want them to die.
It does very much, the way you describe it, does very much sound like it's a game that was basically like another 6 to 9 months of polish. And it probably would actually fix most of the issues and actually work quite nicely. It's like it didn't quite get that last little bit. It was right. It definitely sounds like it's rushed. I mean, regards like
there's like a God.
Regards like sort of like stealth in games, it's very easy to make stealth shit in a game. It's so unless the game was designed with stealth like as a main point of contention. And even then, when it usually falls down, whenever they sort of like try and adapt a game with stealth or put stealth into a game, it usually falls flat on its face, because most stealth games have to have their AI coded completely differently. They have to be, they just don't work the way you sort of move around completely differently. A game's got to be built for stealth from the ground up, with that knowledge in mind, rather than shunting it in. And it's very easy to fuck it up. And I think
do you want to know what does work?
What?
Shooting.
Yeah.
Play it like Killzone, and that game's okay.
Yeah.
Other than navigation, which is shit. But sorry, keep going.
Well, I was going to say, there are far more games that have tried to implement stealth and fucked up than there are games that have successfully implemented stealth and made it fun. There's very few games that have achieved both. perhaps my go-to game that knows you both stealth and non-stealth well is Far Cry, like 3 plus, 3 and 4.
Mhm.
You can do stealth or non-stealth, both work very well. And the game's also been intended that from the start of that. Sorry, my dog just sneezed. Also intended that in the mind, so it works well. Deus Ex Human Revolution, good stealth, good gunplay. If you then go to games that if you look at games that try and put it in as an add-on late minute, that's where it always falls down. And it sounds like Killzone, potentially with a bit more polish, could have got it there. Just a bit more perhaps bear triggering. You'd be bit more generous with the sort of like, oh, we are nearby to kill this guy. Just be a bit more generous with stuff. It sounds like it just needed more play testing, more polishing. It could have been a really good game. It just needed some more time. But obviously, if it's a launch game, the PlayStation is launching. Then we need it out, and that's it.
I mean, the story is kind of interesting, but I don't want to go into it because that's really all the game has got.
Yeah.
And if I tell you all of the kind of big beats of the story, which to be fair, you can see from a mile off, there is nothing to it.
Yeah.
I mean, as I say, even gunplay can be a bit shit because it's old school checkpoint shooter. And obviously it's not supposed to be played quite as a shooter. You're supposed to kind of lean more into stealth, and navigation is absolutely horse shit. So even when you are running about trying to find that one guy to make the battle music stop, and you're just running and gunning it, it's not fun because you get lost so easily. Just I don't know. Yeah, needed a bit more time in the oven.
Yeah, sounds
to be
like
honest.
It.
But
Sounds
again,
like it.
launch title for a console. Too many. It's like when Nintendo releases a game with shit tons of gimmicks on launch of every system, and you're like, is this really the best that the system's got to offer? Sony, stop putting in fucking jank, please. Please. Like what they do with the PlayStation 5 with the speaker and the touchpad and the squeezy grip control. Stop it, please. Just make better games.
Yeah.
Take your gimmicks, put them in the bin, and just make better games.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of Killzone, you've probably already played it. If you ain't, Killzone's I'd say it's worth playing.
I enjoyed Killzone 1. I did enjoy it.
Killzone 2 was pretty solid. As I said, I skipped over Killzone 3. The one on PlayStation Vita was alright. And the one on PS, honestly, it's not great. It's not completely terrible, though, if you like the other games. If you want to see how the story ends, I don't know if it actually ends the way it's supposed to end, because I got like 5 missions in and said, fuck this. Assuming it wraps up the story, might be worth giving it a go. But
cool.
It's cheap. It's a PlayStation exclusive. Do that with that information what you will. Yeah, sorry, that was a bit more of a rant than anything.
No, that's fine.
Don't stealth game a shooter.
No,
please.
Unless you intended it from the start, and then make sure you design it fucking properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like making 10 shoe stealth assassins a run and gun shooter, but
because I think you could do like a sort of like squad based stealth sort of style game where you are sort of like I mean I'm thinking something like sort of like a sort of Vietnam-esque sort of period of time where you're like sort of like hunting through and you're sort of like it's very dense terrain. You're trying to sort of like find enemy trolls and get the drop on them because it's make the gunplay very lethal, so you have to get the drop on them to sort of succeed. And if you're outnumbered, you just need to sort of run. And so I could see a sort of a game, or perhaps sort of like do a game where you're like some sort of special forces, special forces squad been dropped behind enemy lines, and you have to sort of choose your battles, avoid your trolls. And so I could see a stealth should have been played, could have been done.
I will say, all right, I've just shit on it, right? There was one section, this is, depending on how you look at it, it's something to shit on it, and another where it's actually kind of a bonus, okay? There's a section where you have to rescue hostages. And there's like, we can either go in through the skylight, all guns blazing, and save these hostages, or you can sneak in and try and stealth them out. And I thought, shits and giggles, I'll try and stealth it. Terrible idea. Because then you realize and this is probably where I said I was using the stun mechanic wrong. Like there are some rooms that are I couldn't find any other ways into these rooms. It's like no other vents or anything like that. And they were full of people. According to the scanner, there were guys like looking at the door, so I couldn't walk through and just go, duh, you can't see me, and hope to get through. They'd just be instantly alerted. It seemed really wobbly, but in getting caught, and I must have spent like half an hour trying to figure out how I could stealth that, like take down all these guys, and it just weren't going to happen. There is no real consequence for getting caught, even in that save the hostages mission, because they don't kill the hostages.
Oh.
They're just like, there could be a firefight. Your guys come busting in through the ceiling after you get caught. The guy could be stood right next to the hostage and still be focused on shooting you as well. Like, just completely ignores that they've got leverage on you, but whatever. Massive firefight, entire room full of guys get cleared, and then you just walk over to the guy that's kind of laying on the floor, cuffed up, and you're like, "Oh, here you go, mate, up you get," and off he fucks. And it's like, "Oh, okay, cool." It's nice that they don't punish you for not being able to do the stealth, but by the same token, it's so fucking stupid that they try to make you stealth it.
Yeah, well,
know?
it made more sense if like it doesn't punish you for breaking stuff like the out perimeter of the building, but as you get close to where the hostages actually that's when you have to be a bit more careful.
Yeah, like there's no consequence to it.
Yeah.
Oh, just one more thing about it, and this is a bad one, a very bad one. You know how back in the day, and this was a very big like kind of Medal of Honor. Can't remember if Call of Duty did it in the early days as well, but like you know when vehicles are moving on a track and you have to cross the track, and if you get kind of brushed or pixeled, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Killzone has got an entire level like that.
Oh.
Where you're having to skip across train tracks backwards and forwards, up and down ladders to move. There's like 3 lines of train tracks over each other, and then you have to cross them and move around, and you shoot. It's fucking terrible. And like you could spawn in on a level into the level, not realize that there's a train coming, albeit it does flash to warn you that the train's coming. Think you are off to the side of the track, have the train kind of brush your jacket, and you instantly die. An entire level of that. It's
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Killzone.
Cool.
What have you been up to, Rem?
Well, it's weird you've been playing an early 2010s game, because I'm playing an early 2010s game as well.
Is it a good one though?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been trying to play an early 2010s game. Is probably how I should rephrase this. So I also a few weeks ago I was playing XCom 2, Enemy Unknown, but the new XCom 2, not the old XCom 2, and I played what was originally meant to be the new version of XCom before everyone went up in arms. I've been playing XCom the Bureau Declassified, which is XCom's cover-based third-person shooter.
Yes, I've seen that one.
This was going to be like. This was what from when XCOM was like originally. This was like what was actually announced first before the sort of like tactical game got announced. The idea was it said 19. It's almost like a reboot. It was gonna be like sort of said 19 sort of 60s or 50s or 60s America. Sort of the heights or the crazy. And you were going to be the Bureau investigating sort of X-Files-esque style monsters, aliens as they start their invasion, sort of like investigating areas and sort of like uncovering devices and plots and so forth. That was sort of the idea. Everybody going up in arms because it's not XCOM, so they made a tactical one, and the tactical one's really, really good. This game got sort of like shunted around a little bit, and eventually I got part of the group who saw like bare bones it, stripped it down, and produced XCom the Bureau Declassified. The basic process is still the same. It's set in 1950s, and I think the actual basic idea is really cool. 1950s, sort of America. You are like you're playing at a time where you have basically no technology. No real computers or stuff. There are computers about, but they're not really anything of worth. So it's all sort of like analog, you're still doing like sort of basic. You have got some sort of like semi-automatic, fully automatic weapons, but they're not like very fancy stuff. You then have to like sort of take on alien threats and sort of like using your limited resources to capture, take over control, gradually build up, steal their weapons and technology. In my opinion, it's a really neat concept. It's a really neat idea, and I think it could do really well. The trouble is, it's just they sort of try to sort of put stuff into to make it all work, but it just hasn't quite pulled off well. The first big issue is, and this is a real big issue, is there was a certain point in time in the mid 2000s where game companies decided all game antagonists had to be arseholes.
Yeah.
Every person you play as, no matter what NPC they talk to, is just downright rude or aggressive. I think what the trouble was, somebody misunderstood the term antagonist. And they thought they meant they had to be antagonizing everybody. Because your characters, there was a phrase where every character you played, and it was mainly sort of like action-oriented games, was someone say, "Oh, hi, how are you today?" And they go, "You're a fucking twat. Don't talk to me like that. My family is dead. How dare you?" That sort of thing.
Like,
This basically being
that's it. Like everyone's like this mopey emo bitch.
Yeah, really arseholish. It was just and XCOM does not let down. You play a guy who's basically an arsehole. When it comes to game protagonists, I have my rule of thumb is, would I have a beer with them? And if I'd have a go to a pub and have a beer with them, I mean, there's certain ones who you wouldn't want to have a beer with, but Kirby would be a dangerous thing to have a bear with. Yeah.
You mean like so you'd be happy to have a beer with the head of the Helgen, right?
Protagonists, guys. People you're playing as.
Yeah, no, because there's multiplayer modes in Killzone.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
So you can play as the Helgen.
I probably wouldn't have a beer with the head of a Helgen because I don't feel. Well, for starters, I couldn't because I couldn't drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Straw through the mask.
Yeah, I'm convinced it's Helgen. You get a beer, and it goes straight over his face.
Like pours it through his filter, just pours it over his face. He's like, "Oh, I can't get drunk. Why? Because I've got an anti-alcohol filter in here as well." Like,
oh, that's boring.
It's just like water, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't have a drink with this guy. He's just an absolute arsehole. And mechanics-wise, how it works is they've tried to sort of like give it sort of the XCOM-y feel of mechanics, so that when you have a squad, you'll have a squad of at least the airport say a couple of other sort of operatives, and you can go into like battle mode, and you can basically time sort of slows down, and you can then give them orders. So you can say, okay, I want you to move over here, behind this bit of cover. It's got cover.
Slows down, not stops.
Not stops, slows down. Which is a bit. You need to okay. I want you to. You got your squadrons have special abilities like this guy can like precision strike somebody. This guy can throw a mine down. This guy in 1950s America can deploy a laser turret. As you do.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shock when that one came up.
I've never seen a 1950s laser turret.
No, but apparently you can deploy one. I'm not sure where that came from, but he can. You can sort of like give all these sort of instruction stuff, so you can sort of move around, and it works okay. It works okay. You do have to be somewhat sort of quick. Because the trouble is, these sort of other games is your squad. They're a bit like sort of we talked about stealth earlier. If you're going to do it like that, you've got to balance your squad thinking for themselves and doing something stupid. For example, you tell your two squad mates to hide behind some crates. They do so, start shooting. The one decides, I'm going to go run up where the monsters are and go stand next to him so I'm out in the open. It's like, cheers. Oh. I did not tell you to do that.
Oh, when they start trying to shoot back and they're shooting at the crate.
Yeah, they basically left the cover I told him to stay behind and ran up to where the monster was and stood next to him so he gets shot in the open. I was like, I didn't tell you to do that. Why are you doing that?
He called me a wanker in whatever his alien language was.
In XCom the Bureau, your squad mates can die permanently.
Yeah.
You can't revive them. They are dead. Look like XCOM. It's like neat how much they pulled across from XCOM actually in the game. So there aren't many squad-based shooters where your teammates actually can die permanently and be gone for good. A lot of them will they'll just they'll lay on the ground. You come sort of give them a little pat on the back and they get up and feel better again. You can revive people, but they can just die, which is fine, neat. So squad based is it's very simplistic, but if it wasn't for the fact that your AI decides to do some stupid things and go off and do random things, it would actually be a bit crap. Those are pretty useless. We got to the end of like the first, the first sort of like mission. You're basically on like an iron base. You've been sent to take this sort of device that's been not explain exactly what it is, but you've got it like in a suitcase, and you're maybe taking it to like sort of the leader of the bureau, and that's when the invasion sort of starts, and someone who's possessed tries to kill you, and eventually you want to your squad mates, and that's when you sort of start working them. They all have like rankings, and you start at like level 1. They give you like level 5 operatives. We go into the game, and it says I've killed like 44 aliens. These guys have killed like 3 and 4 each. It's like,
wow, they're doing great.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are these lot up to? It's like, why are they being so shit? So it's
Hey, don't say that. You'll end up with a generation of people who are down on themselves.
well, they should be. They're shit. And I mean, when me, who's not a very good, who's old and decrepit and not great at playing the games these days, is like getting 10 times the kills as the sniper who's level 5. I think there's a problem.
Sniper fires and misses, and you're like, oh mate, try again, misses, mate. Come on, you're a sniper, precision. Take the shot, breathe.
Yeah. But,
misses, shoots the medic.
But that's sort of like stuff
behind it.
Yeah, bit like we talked about sort of like polishing issue earlier. So the game surprisingly supports ultra wide. Neat. That's neat. That's a game that old supports it. Really good. Option in the menu. Brilliant. The menus haven't been designed for it. So, for example,
so is it one of like the interface will stay in like 16:9 and then you go into the main?
No, the interface in game where you have like your map and your icons and your health, they move correctly. They get positioned correctly, into the right part.
It's your main game menus that.
Menus basically you basically can't access the buttons at the bottom of the menu. So, for example, the menu where you have to assign soldiers to a squad has 4 buttons on it. 3 on one level, and the button that says assign to squad is one below it. You can see the tops of the top 3, but you can't physically move your mouse low enough to get to the one that says assign to squad. What's really good is once you enter that menu, there's no way to leave it until you assign them a squad to your squad. So basically, if you're in that situation, you have to quit the game and change the resolution. So what you have to do is quit the game, and that also means that any subtitles appear off screen. That's fair enough. I accept sort of like cutscenes to be messed up in that sort of situation, but they should just like letterbox and go back to normal. But even like sort of like the loading tips, just the game can't handle being formatted in that sort of resolution, so just crash it. It just loads out. But then, why does it even support it? Why is it even an option if it can't display it properly?
See, when you said it, I thought you were going to say something to the effect of the main game as you're playing, the interface is functional. But then when you go into like when you load up your title screen and it'll be in like 4:3.
Yeah.
You'll have like all this dead space to the sides because nothing's rendering in.
That's fine. I wouldn't mind that. That wouldn't bother me.
And then when you get in, it kind of goes. But to have it kind of crop top and bottom as well is kind of grim.
It's like it doesn't scale to that. It's like it doesn't quite understand the concept of scaling to the height of your screen, because it should just scale the menus to the height of your screen. Because that's the same whether you're playing an ultra wide or not. It's like it looks at like some sort. I don't know how it's figured out, but it's like it scales it up, which means that it goes out the boundaries of the screen.
Yeah, I was going to say. So what it's going down is like taking like 16:9.
Yeah.
Stretched it out.
But
so it fits up, but it's taken the top and that have come clean off.
Yeah, but stretched it so that the ratios are locked. So it hasn't like made it wider, it's made it taller and wider.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's kind of used one of those transform tools on like say Photoshop where if you drag down, it makes it wider as well because it's expanding the entire thing.
Yeah, it squares it. Yeah, both width and height expand linearly rather than individually. And it's like, well, this is so easy for you to not do. You just stick with the height. Just use that as your baseline, and you'd be fine. I don't mind if I have black bars on the side of the screen as long as I can hit the buttons I need. Basically, it makes it impossible for me to use. So
is there not an INI file you can mod?
I didn't dig that far, to be honest, Skazz. I just like
you just said fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway.
No, what I did was I basically just went out. I basically went out, changed it back to a standard widescreen resolution, which
And it worked
fits.
fine.
It works fine, and when it actually does stretch it, it will stretch it to the ultra wide screen, so things are a little bit squished, but it looks all right, so you can still play it. And after that makes it
Sure.
work. That was going really well. I got that sorted, and then like get to the base, the sort of main base, the bureau, where you have to go off to your first sort of like mission with your assigned squad. You get in a lift, the game crashes. And no matter what I did, the game crashes. Now, I think I figured it out. I think I've now figured it out. I think because this game supports physics, and physics is switched on, I suspect the issue is physics is switched on. So I'm going to try running it without
That used
physics.
to be wobbly as fuck back in the day.
Yeah, so I'm going to try switching physics
Games
off.
with physics. Like, what an amazing technology. Doesn't work. Playing it on an AMD graphics card, though, no physics support, works great.
Yeah, well, so I think I'm going to switch it off and see if that makes it work. But I mean, I was sort of surprisingly, I was quite because I like the sort of concept and sort of like idea. I was quite sort of fired up to play it because I was like, oh, actually, I quite like this idea of like, no, sort of this sort of like bureaus or like X-Files, like us against the whole universe, trying to defeat it and work our way up. I quite like that idea, but I just got hampered just trying to get to the first bloody mission after the tutorial mission. It's like, for fuck's sake. It's just annoying. And I really just like the main protagonist of the game.
Sure.
Really
See, when you get stuff like that, don't you find it's incredibly frustrating because it's something you should like,
yeah,
but there's a bunch of just little roadblocks, annoying little roadblocks that they're just getting, and you're like, look, this should be fun, but this sucks. You've robbed all of the fun of this just because it lacks a bit of polish, or in your case, the antagonist is a bit of a cunt.
the other sort of issue is that the AI, for example, the squad system to switch between your different people, how you switch between them is use the WASD key. So S is your main character, the A is one character, D is the other. That's fine, and then but then that means when you want to say move around the targets, you use your mouse. That trouble is naturally you go to use the arrows keys that move to move around, and so it's very hard to resist temptation to like press. Oh, I'm moving. Oh, now I'm selecting the normal character again because I've pressed the arrow keys. The WASD keys.
Yeah,
I mean, so I was having quite surprised about fun because fun with it when it worked. It was actually surprised about fun getting the guys sort of behind. I mean, it was never going to win third person shooter of the year. I mean, I think when it came out, it was fairly sort of. I do think it got a little bit of a kick in because it had the XCom name attached to it. If it was just called the Bureau Declassified, it probably got away with a bit more. But it's a very mediocre third person shooter, but in a way that's actually still got some amount of enjoyment out of it. At least in the bits I play.
There's so many layers of frustration in between.
Yeah. It's again, it feels like it could have had more polish. It could have been something a bit special, but it's all things are done down. But for this brief time, the hour and a half or so I managed to actually play of it, I quite enjoyed it. But I'm going to try and see if I can bypass the physics issue and actually see if I get a bit further along and see if I can stop it crashing. If I can't stop crashing, then I have to give up on it and try something else. But yeah, it's sort of, it looks okay for the time. It looks all right. It looks okay. Yeah. It's early 2010 graphics, so they look all right. And it's got a slightly creepy. What was that face animation system that came out that all the games started using? What was it called? It's got that. So basically, all the face animations are just slightly weird.
I think I know the style you're looking for, but I couldn't imagine. I can't think off the top of my head what the actual implementation was.
Yeah, it's like the mouths and stuff are like sort of quite good, but the rest of the face is a bit too static.
Yeah,
so it looks a bit weird.
I get the thing. Yeah, I get the groove you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like that. But yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna see if I can get a part. See if I can get this to work. And sort of get more going and see how I find once I get used to sort of squad, if it sort of makes more sense and feels it. But see if the AI plays a bit more nicely with me, doesn't do anything stupid. And if it does, well, they just gonna die. Natural selection it.
Sounds great.
But yeah, I think neat concept, slightly ruined.
Yeah. Could have done
Oh.
with some more polish, guys.
Oh yeah, definitely got more polish on it. Yeah, definitely more polish on it. Oh, another sort of annoying thing: the amount of times that so you enter into battle mode by pressing the Alt key, and also or you go to a menu, for example. To get out of the menu, you think you press escape. Escape pauses the game regardless. That's really irritating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and it does.
No, I
You
get that.
you had to have a little giggle. You mentioned you have a little button that you can press that shows you where your next objective is, but
Yeah.
briefly it only appears like 2 seconds and it's gone. This game does
Yeah.
the same. There's a button.
Ugh.
You have to press the if you want to display your next objective, it's the F5 key of all things. It's like why would you put a key?
Doesn't that normally save?
Yeah, why is it so? I forgot about this.
Oh no, I've triggered him.
Fucking checkpoints in this game are dog shit. Right? Honestly, right. There's a bit where you have to get on a train to go to another site. So you get to the train, there you open the train up, you go on board. There's a big long cutscene. There's a big long cutscene, right? As the train goes, and it's all the base gets destroyed, and you find yourself on the outskirts of the base. You this all like more deserted places. It feels like a whole different area has been sent to, right?
Yeah.
The logical pacing of a checkpoint says that's where the checkpoint goes.
Yeah, right after you've done the cutscene and you've just loaded into the sarcastic new zone.
No. This game puts that checkpoint before you get just before you go on the train. Not even when you're on the train, just before you open the door to the train. That's what the cutscene.
Wow, so you have to watch that cutscene over and over.
Yes, exactly right. When I had the issue with because there's no manual save. It's checkpoint only. When you get to sort of like main base, like after you have your cutscenes, you got to the base, so forth. You go and have to talk to a load of people. That's when you then go pick your squad. Then once you've picked your squad, you then go after your mission, right? The checkpoint to do that is just after you pick your squad, which means if like me had the issue with the menu and had to quit the game, I was right at the back of the base, had to go talk to everybody all over again and skip through all the scenes to get to it. So I get to the bit where I create. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, just.
Doesn't it drive you nuts when that happens?
Yeah, it's like,
and it makes you start to hate the game.
It's
like, I've done this.
Yeah.
I've done this like 3 or 4 times now. I'm sick of this.
Yeah, just put the checkpoints in a more logical place. Or for fuck's sake, let me do a manual save. Let me quick save, please. There's no reason not to allow quick saving, apart from laziness.
But that was the thing though for the time, wasn't it? Checkpoints.
Yeah. There was a point.
There was checkpoints everywhere, and then sometimes you'd have the option because this game wasn't consoleized, was it?
Oh, it must have been. Yes, definitely.
I was going to say because if they don't allow you to manually save, it's probably because it's been consoleized.
Oh yeah,
so
this
that
feels
was the whole thing of those times. You'd have an auto checkpoint system, no saving.
But the trouble what happens with that is you get to that situation where it's like, okay, it's getting late. I need to be up for like work or whatever tomorrow. When was the last checkpoint? Or was it? And you say, well, I'm going to have to keep playing until I see the little checkpoints that will appear on the screen, so I know I've reached the point where it's going to save. And 2 hours later, you finally get to your next checkpoint. But you don't stop because you don't know if you're going to go back an hour and a half on your checkpoint. It's like, oh, you need to come off the screen. Oh no, I've not got to a checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I hate checkpoints. It's like there's no good reason. Oh, it saves coming. It's like just let people save the game. And if people,
I know your pain.
I know your pain. Think about save scum, right? When people save scum, the only person they're cheating is themselves. Because you don't save scum in a multiplayer game. You only play scum. Nope. So if people want to save scum, fucking let them do it. Who cares? Right? Why? Oh, they might get some achievements. Who gives a shit about achievements? No one does. Just let them do it. If they want to do it, let them do it. Let them go off and do their own thing. And if you're so scared that some people are going to get some worthless internet points that mean nothing, and once the console's sold in 5 years' time, disappear forever. If you're worried about that, then frankly, get a life. Just let people play games how they want to play them.
Mate, you say that, I know loads of people who achievement hunt.
Yeah, that's just tell them that, if they walk outside their front house, they can see this place we call the world. And there's birds.
Are you telling people in a polite way to touch grass?
Yes. If you're got to the stage in your life where you are hunting achievements and you're going to spend hours trying to get one random achievement, go outside, please.
Mate, I've tried saying that to some of
Just
my lot. I've got friends who are achievement and trophy hunters, and it's like, dude, if you say to me you're going to platinum this game, I swear I'm going to break my foot off in your ass. Don't
play
talk to me about it. I've got shit to do.
play the game for the enjoyment of playing the game. I know it's a weird concept, but it's like, do you know what? I fucking hate this game, but there's an achievement when I like eat 10,000 apples from the specific forest. I'll have to farm them now for the next 6 weeks, but then I'll get actually with platinum. You're playing a game you
Mate,
hate for the next 6. You've got fed up with the next 6 weeks. Just play a different
funny
game.
you say that. Funny you say that. So 2 things came from achievements. 1, people playing games they didn't enjoy. 2, people grinding achievements. Games they didn't enjoy. Example, there was a King Kong game that came out on the Xbox 360. It was a launch title for the 360. I can't remember what it was called. Like Skull Island or something like that. I don't know. It was actually an all right game for as far as the movie time was concerned, but it had the most linear achievement structure ever. So like, because like achievements, you get like 1,000 achievements for beating a game or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You'd get a full blown like 100 achievements for every chapter if you finish a level, and you'd get, you know, a tenth of the achievements. Just by finishing the level. There were only achievements for beating a chapter in the game. That's the only reason a lot of people played that game.
Yeah.
Well, it's largely the reason why people played
See,
that game, because they wanted the achievements.
The funny thing is, actually, I don't really. I quite like chapter achievements, not because I want the achievements, but it's nice because I've got a statistical brain. I like looking and seeing how far people have got in a game.
Yeah. Now, I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. That's actually one thing I like about the PlayStation 5, and that in some PlayStation 5 games, it will actually give you a percentage completed, like display. So when you go to start a game on the PS5, also like how many achievements you've got, how long you've played it, the rough percentage that you are through the story.
Yeah,
that's kind of a neat one. But while
we're talking about that, I will just say the achievement for completed tutorial mission on XCom the Bureau has only been completed by 45% of people.
Well, there you go. That's terrible. I mean, I think
that tells you all, really, doesn't it?
I think it might have been Killzone was one of the ones that's like that as well, where some of the achievements like they completely drop off. Like I think like only like 15% of players that actually started got past mission 2.
Yeah.
You know, that weren't quite that.
I like the ones,
maybe only 15% of players got to the end.
I like the ones that's like I think it was in Deus Ex Human Revolution where you get achievement for like killing the end boss, and then you literally walk into another room. You have to make a decision, and when you make the decision, you get another achievement. But it's like 94% of people complete the end boss. 96% of people got the other achievement. So 2% of people never bothered walking to that room and completing the game. It's like literally 30 seconds more for walking and you complete the game. Those people didn't bother. It's like, well, I've killed the last boss now. I can't be arsed. I find that deeply amusing.
I've had enough of this shite. See, I use that. It's funny enough because I used that on some of my old live streams back in the day. I would use that and say like, well, we've just unlocked XYZ number of achievements. This is how far most people have gotten by this point. Oh my god. Like, I don't know, let's say I got an achievement. It's like, oh, there's only 30% of players have got this. It's like, I've only been playing for 4 hours. Most people have quit the game by now. That's terrifying. See, I like those chapter achievements, and I have no problem with chapter achievements. I like chapter achievements. Like, don't make them all of the achievements if you're going to put achievements in the game, but it's nice to have them, all right? Because then you can gauge how far you are through the game. But in the early days, at least, that was one of the things that people would look at as a reason to play a game.
Yeah.
How easy were the achievements to get so they could get that magic gamer score thing? Annoyed the shit out of me. Just as a note, that King Kong game was actually pretty fun. Yeah. It was pretty fun. I liked it. I bought it because it was an early Xbox game. It was cheap. And I was like, that's actually pretty fun. The other thing that got on my tits, though, about early achievements, like I say, is achievement grinding. So you'd play a game like Gears of War, and Gears would have a multiplayer mode, or like, I don't know, Call of Duty or whatever, it'd have a multiplayer mode. And there'd be like, you've unlocked an achievement for 100 chainsaw kills, 100 grenade kills, right? And you would actively see people trying to grind those achievements. Grind the achievements? What do you mean? Well, what I mean is, you'd see this one motherfucker who's actively going for the chainsaw kill because he's just running at the enemy team trying to chainsaw them over and over and over again.
Yeah.
He's not trying to kill them in any other way, he'll just try and chainsaw him. Or once you see that player get that, they'll move on to the next one. 50 grenade kills, 50 shotgun kills, 50 perfect time melee takedown kills, or something stupid like that. Like, you could see them actively doing it. They were just trying to grind that one achievement. 50 sniper kills, 50 rifle kills, 50 headshots, like that. You could see it
Yeah.
when you were in multiplayer lobbies that people were actively just trying to get these achievements. They weren't just trying to get them eventually, like they would have done by just playing the game anyway. They were hyper focused on what they needed to do to get those achievements, and it ruined a lot of online multiplayer games, in my opinion, in the early days of Xbox and PlayStation Online. It was just so stupid. I fucking hated them. But now it's kind of weird to see games without them.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. There is. I think there's a couple of games I've got all the achievements in. One was Deus Ex Human Revolution, and there was one I got the achievement, but I went for it because it was actually quite a high ask, and I wanted to do it for my own sort of challenge, which was you go through the game and you don't set off any alarms, you don't load any enemies, and if you do one, game over. You don't get the achievement anymore.
Human Revolution?
Yeah.
You did that one was that in Human Revolution
Yes.
you're talking about?
Yep.
You're fucking nuts, mate.
I did it though.
Because that game's AI at times is fucking bollocks.
If you don't, I won't lie, Skazz. It involved a bit of save scumming.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate, you
I was
developed an
determined
incredibly
to get
intimate relationship.
but bear in mind, this is like the third time I played it, so I saw where I had an idea of the levels where the enemies weren't safe off, so it helped.
Yeah, sure.
And there was
I was going to say, first time through, man, that game is
not first time through. No.
Because I don't even think I finished it on Steam. I might have played through a large chunk of it on Xbox, but I know that if you look at my Steam achievements, it looks like I've barely even got through the first level.
I think the achievement's rather wonderfully called the Foxes of the Hounds. But that was I've played on I've most of the other achievements I got on that game through just general play.
As you should.
I didn't go hunting for them or anything like that. There might have been one which was like there's like 30 books you need to find, and I found like 29, and I was like, well, I'm just going to look up what the last one is, just so I'm one away. And that's worse, actually. When you're like one away, if you're 10 away, it's like, whatever. When you're one away, that niggles you. It's a bit like, actually, if you've unlocked 80% of the achievements, that starts to niggle you. Well, you've only done 10, you've done 50%, whatever. But it's like, it's almost achievable now. That's like an achievement, I suppose. It's like,
oh wow,
that's going to annoy me. But no, I did actually. I actually felt that was worthy of achievement, because it did involve that did take a lot of dedication to get there.
The fact that they let you save scum, it's nice, because I know some games that would have gone, no, you've got one save, and the moment you alert a guard, you're done.
There is what I don't think Human Revolution's got that, but there was one game I played which had like sort of like an Iron Man sort of achievement, where if you died, that was it, the game was over, and it just deleted your game for your save basically. And that was like a game you didn't have to play like that, but you could. I feel a few games have done that sort of style mode. I quite like. Again, I wouldn't do it because the idea of playing for 20 hours and then losing everything, I just couldn't stomach.
No, I get that.
Particularly when gameplay time is precious these days. So the idea of having to I just couldn't do it. So that's actually part of the other reason why I've never really been to achievement on, because games are precious. Once I've played a game, I've got to the point where I've got my enjoyment out of it, I move on. I'm not gonna worry about unlocking every little thing. If I've missed the odd side quest here and there, I'm not gonna go back unless I'm really into it. I think the last game that I got really into, making sure I got everything, was Cyberpunk 2077.
That was such a shit game.
Yeah. I nowhere to lie. I had a spreadsheet of all the missions and everything. I was marking them off as I went to make sure I got everything. Because I just
Solid
watched
game.
a very solid game. I need to get around to playing the expansion.
Expansion.
Thing. Yeah.
I got the expansion. Still haven't played it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've bought it yet, but I need to get around to buying it and playing it.
Mhm.
I also kind of so that's a weird game. 'Cause I do still want to play through it again, but I want to play through as a female V, so to get the other
Yeah,
perspective.
no, I've wanted to do that. I want to do that.
But I just part of me like I don't want the magic ruined because it was such a magical sort of like experience at the time. I just feel like if I play through it again, because I'll know what's happening, what's going on, it'll sort of like lose the shine again. But like watching a film.
Some events change though, don't they?
Yeah, some do, but the sort of core plot will stay the same. I know.
Yes, largely. Yes, all largely the same. Of course.
So it's part of me like I think I might need to wait like another 4 or 5 years so I've forgotten most of it before I play it. Play it again. But yeah, I do want to play. Yeah, but I do want to go back and play the expansion. Cool. So yeah, but I mean, again, I've got quite a few tunes in but I'm missing most of them. I'd say I've only probably got 30% of them because they're just general.
Yeah, I didn't get a huge number of them. I just fucking burnt through the story in the end.
Yeah. No, I that's probably the last sort of. It's been a long time since I had a game where like every sort of like moment when I wasn't doing something else, I was playing the game.
Well, I mean, I bounced off that one. I bounced off Cyberpunk pretty hard at the start, but fucking when I went back to it, I was like, I'm gonna do the heist. I'm good because it was the heist. The idea of the heist put me off.
Yeah.
Because you know how much I hate forced stealth, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a forced stealth mission right at the start. All right, and I was like, no, we're gonna do it. Did it? Got into the actual open world bit because they give you way too much choice right at the start.
Yes.
I know, like a lot of people never finish that heist.
Yeah, no, I played an awful lot.
Because they get choice paralysis just from the.
Yeah, I played an awful lot before I got to the heist bit. An awful lot.
Yeah, like you could easily put in like 4, 5, 6+ hours just doing stuff before you get to the heist.
That's probably not far off what I did, to be honest, Skazz.
So I can see why a lot of people bounced. But like that game was absolutely fucking phenomenal, and the writing there was pretty good. Just a note, did they not say? Did they not say there was going to be there's like a Cyberpunk board game or something on TikTok? Kickstarter.
I was going to say, how's that going to work?
Yeah, just scrolling through. 60 seconds or how long a TikTok is.
I'm not sure how a Cyberpunk board game on Kickstarter, was it like sort of like a gang?
I don't know. I didn't look. I saw Cyberpunk branding, and I think it was by Pondsmith.
Oh.
So I don't know if it was like a board game or like another
set
of books.
There is a Cyberpunk board game. I do know there is a board game that does exist of Cyberpunk because I've seen it on like various board game websites for sale. So I do know.
So I think they are working on more modules for the pen and paper. I'll have to look it up. I don't know, but I mean, Cyberpunk was. If you haven't played Cyberpunk. The only people who had the right to complain about that game were fucking PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners. If you owned that game on PC, even a middle of the road PC, that game was fucking fine.
My PC is for the time was quite fancy. Now it's not, and that played Cyberpunk fine. Couldn't stream it and play it. Couldn't do both because that really did tank it. But just playing it, I was playing ultra wide. Yes, I had no RTX on and all that sort of stuff. But let's be honest, you don't really notice it. This is all that sort of stuff. If you go looking for it, you notice it. But
if you go looking for it, you can really see it.
Just general play.
If you've got enough grunt to turn all of the stuff up and have RTX on, then it does kind of add to the atmosphere when everything's like when it's all wet and shimmery and shit. Then that looks quite nice. But generally speaking, that don't matter.
No. But it's still a phenomenal game. I said the voice. I love the voice acts. I mean, the thing is, I think the thing we did correct was the first version of Cyberpunk was quite ropey. The one which came out like December time. Then when we went to play it again, sort of like because we both started going back into about summertime, August time, I think it was when we got back into it about the same time again because we were comparing notes as we were playing it. At that point, there'd been quite a few big patches that had fixed a lot of stuff. I think that made the difference. They fixed a lot of the issues and little things like one big gripe I had was when you're in a vehicle, the mini map would stay the same scale as you drove around at first, so you couldn't go particularly fast because you couldn't see anything coming up.
Yeah, the map wouldn't keep up with you.
But they changed so that it scaled out, so as you got faster, it just all zoomed out so you could see further. Little change, made it a lot better. So yeah, definitely, it's definitely in my opinion, it's a must have. If you have an interest in sort of that sort of cyberpunk area, it's a must have play game, and the story is really good. The voice acting is really good. The characters I find very interesting, and the endings. And there's one ending, it's a real gut punch. I won't spoil it, but there's a real gut. Skazz will know which ending I'm referring to, and it's just honestly, it's worth sinking those 100 odd hours into, and just open up and explore the city. So beautifully done. There's so many sort of bits where I went, wow. I remember going to there's a massive garbage heap, like in a canyon, and I just wandered around that for a bit. It's like it's a pile of rubbish, but it's like, wow, it just looks really spectacular.
Just do me a favor, okay? Anyone listening to this, do me a favor, right? Don't look at how long it'll take you to beat the game. Don't look at reviews. I mean, chances are you've already done that at this point, but just don't. Okay, because they're going to really skew what you think about the game. Go in there, if you have, just go in there with an open mind. Explore. There's a bit of jank, but it's no worse than any Bethesda game that's come out. Or fucking, I don't know, anything really.
I maintain that Cyberpunk 2077, when that came out, was still less buggy than an equivalent Bethesda game.
I agree. I completely agree. Don't get me wrong. I had some moments where the game just completely carked it on me.
Oh yeah, so did I.
Two within the first few hours. Like where NPCs don't spawn in, or where you had toggle and lock for your scanner.
Yeah.
I hit lock, and then when I tried to remove it, it wouldn't go away.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. But yeah, I remember that bug. Yeah.
And so my character was, I had to slowly move, so I just had to save and log out and then go back in, and it was fine. But
I had a bug where you went to like sort of that cyberpunk, that sort of like hacking mode where that's all like your screen had that like sort of filter put over it.
Yeah.
I got stuck in that filter mode no matter what. I had that bug, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's one of the same bugs I had, yeah.
Yeah, and cars as well. So if you spawn your vehicle in, it gets stuck because it just spawn amongst traffic and just gets stuck. There are lots of things on. But honestly, compared to like when Skyrim launched, what was wrong with it? But
Skyrim was dog shit.
But see, people, Bethesda, because Bethesda have got a reputation for releasing buggy games, they kind of get away with it. Because people, Bethesda, it's another buggy game from Bethesda. Oh, yes. People sort of let them get away with this.
Do you want to know what fucked up Cyberpunk? Fell victim to two things. One, Half-Life syndrome.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes.
We knew about it for a long time before it was due. So hype built up. It got killed by a hype train.
Yep. Agreed.
Secondly, it was killed by The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Right? Why The Witcher 3? Because by the time a lot of people got into The Witcher 3, Witcher 3 was polished. Witcher 3 was pretty buggy at launch, right? But they polished it, was cleaned up, and then by the time a lot of people went, The Witcher, and started wanking over it, constantly going, Witcher 3 is an amazing game. By the point a lot of people played it, it was clean. It was good.
Been fixed.
They'd polished it.
Yeah.
Right? So they're expecting high levels of polish and all this for Cyberpunk.
They're expecting 2 years of patches versus a brand new release game.
Nailed it. And there was no way a game that big was going to be that polished. No fucking way. And even if they said, yeah, but what about the NPCs T-posing as like you were rocking around the city and like they'd cower from it? Who gives a fuck?
I'm right in thinking that Cyberpunk was also CD Projekt Red's first-person shooter as well? Am I right in thinking that?
Maybe.
I think all that because they were known for The Witcher was all like third-person action adventures, but I think Cyberpunk was their first-person shooter.
If that was their first, look, I'll be honest with you. I got put off. I told you, didn't I? I was originally put off from Cyberpunk because to me it looked like Fallout, Skyrim, but with the Cyberpunk coat of paint.
Yeah.
But it's so much better than that.
Yeah.
So much better than that.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed.
There are so many little bits in that game that will just make you go. You'll have that Minecraft moment, you know, where you look at Minecraft and go, it's just a stupid building game,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you'll walk through this cave that you've discovered, and it's generated like this
Yeah.
this plant by this beam of light coming through this cave ceiling or whatever, right? Like you'll have that oh wow moment. Cyberpunk is fucking full of them.
Yeah. The side missions as well. I think what does Cyberpunk really well is the side missions. You've got like the little ones, the little fixer jobs, which are quite straightforward and simple, and they take like sort of 5-10 minutes. But the majority of the side missions are really in depth. Some of the side missions take like 2-3 hours to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. This is what I saw like Killzone a lot of games. If you're going to put side missions in the game, fewer but more in depth ones are better than lots of little ones that take 5 minutes, which is what Ghostwire Tokyo suffered from. All their side missions were like really.
That game sucked.
So I didn't mind Ghostwire Tokyo, but the side missions didn't help at all because they're all so.
There was a lot of
simple.
busy work and jank.
Yes, there was an awful lot of busy. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There was an awful lot of busy work. It was a very collective, lots like a lot of collecting games.
Yeah. Just as a note, that the one mission that got me in Cyberpunk. Right, I don't remember if you remember this one. It's quite early on. You're driving around, and the lassie gives you the mission to go and sort out this guy. You go into this rundown block of flats, and it's this old, this ex-military guy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like dealing with like cyber psychosis.
Yeah,
and I think they think he's like stolen some money or stolen some drugs or something like that, and he's potentially dealing with cyber psychosis or PTSD.
Yeah,
and you can choose to talk him down or whatever, and then depending on what you do, there's a boom, and then you're like, oh shit. You know the one I'm on about?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I didn't encounter to probably more than 2/3 of the way through my playthrough.
All right.
Yeah, I counted quite late on.
Did that one kick you in the nuts too?
And yeah, the one that really got me, the one that sort of I'd say I'm just going to stop playing for the rest of the night, was the serial killer with the cattle farm.
Oh yeah.
That one, after I got to the end, I say, yeah, I'm going to bed now. I'm finishing that one off.
No, but that was a full mission, wasn't it?
That wasn't like a little. That was on the proper side. That's what I'm saying. It's all really in depth ones. It wasn't a fixer contract like your one, because yours was a fixer contract. This was a proper, full, in depth side mission that took that took about 2-3 hours to get through if you were sort of just playing that. But yeah, when you'll get to the end of that,
I think that one was entirely missable as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when you get to the end of it, and sort of it's like, yeah, I'm good now. I'm gonna close this game down for the night and think on that, because that's sort of like that's a real dark.
Yeah.
Really dark.
There's loads of them though.
Yeah.
Don't let people put their politics onto Cyberpunk, by the way, because they're fucking that game's good.
Yeah,
good. Because you'll hear people from both sides of the crowd arguing that this game's this game's that. You'll have the left leaning over here, the right leaning over here. This game's this game. Just ignore them, for fuck's sake. Ignore them, because they have no idea what the point of Cyberpunk, not Cyberpunk the game, Cyberpunk the genre actually is. But oh my god, man, just take other people's opinions out of it completely.
Yeah.
Just clear your mind, go in there blind, and my god, you will find one of those kind of oh fuck moments.
I spent an awful lot of time in Cyberpunk wearing a very, very short pair of shorts that it should have been, but only because they gave me a bonus to gun damage. So
there you go.
My sister watched me play and she said, "Why is your character dressed like that?" I said, "It's the best stats of all of them." It's like, why is your character just such a mismatch of different clothing styles? Best stats.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one of the play style. So I didn't like pistols to start with until you got to play as Johnny Silverhand, and then as soon as I'm playing as fucking Johnny, just popping people's heads with them pistols, I was like, "Fuck, dude, I'm in."
Yeah,
I want to be Johnny Silverhand, man.
There are so many guns in that game that I completely missed. I watched. I think it's GameSpot. They have a guy who works at the sort of like London Armories who does talks about guns and games, and they did a video on Cyberpunk and they called different guns. And there's one complete gun which I completely missed, which is the disposable ones you can buy from a vending machine. And these are guns that you buy, and they've got sort of like 9 rounds in them. That's it. Once you fire them, they're done. But he noted that if you look on the gun, there's actually a sign that says warranty only for 6 rounds.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't even know that gun was in the game. I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
It's like so many sort of
Like I said, at some point, now they've patched it all up, I've got to go back through that again at some
Yeah.
point.
yeah. Like I say, I don't want to. I fear that I might spoil it if I spoil it for myself. If I go back through it, as Carl wants. I was like, if I could delete that game from my mind, like the whole gameplay, I would.
Yeah, and go again.
Yeah. Because that I would just love to sort of lose myself in the game for another 400 hours.
I don't have a particularly, I don't have a particularly rigid like top games list, right? But like Cyberpunk is definitely up there.
Oh yeah.
That one was one that I did not expect to end up there. I went in that one completely going, this is gonna fucking suck.
It's so.
But I like Cyberpunk the genre.
It's so Listen is one of the very few games that both me and Skazz both like.
That's nuts. We did like fucking we did
most
whole episodes like breaking down characters and shit.
We did. We spent like 2 hours just talking about Cyberpunk non-stop. And we could have easily done another 4 or 5 of those just episodes. Like, right, guys, you're in for a spoiler podcast now. Here we go.
Mate, when you get the expansion, let me know and I will see if I can set up a machine to play the expansion.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
And then we'll have to have a Cyberpunk expansion podcast.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh. Yay.
Good game.
Good game. Very good game. Right, guys. I think, unless there's anything else from you, Skazz?
Nah, that's me done, son.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Look forward to seeing you again. Our next podcast is very well planned. Let me just look at my calendar. Our next podcast will be on the 4th of July. That's the very, very important day. That's the day where Britain finally decided to get rid of America. And we said it wasn't worth the hassle anymore. So we said, you guys can just have it now. We signed over to them and that sort of stuff and left them.
This place is mostly shit.
Yeah, we let them keep it. We let them keep it in the divorce. And we sort of kept the rest of the empire. And so that's the 4th of July. So join us for that. That'll be here at 6:30 GMT +1 on twitch.tv/randnerds or youtube.com/randnerds. Our next game
will take the time it takes for me to make a pot noodle, just as a warning.
A pot noodle. Do you know there's so many more better dehydrated noodle things you could buy than pot noodle?
Oh, mate, you say that. Tonight, nah. After the day I fucking had, I saw that pot noodle and that was like the greatest thing in the world. Don't start.
I'm going to have to buy you some naked noodles. They're much, much better.
I've had them.
They're actually palatable. And so, and you can come join us on the 3rd of July, the day before the divorce. And what plots us on our games night at 8:30 GMT +1. Again, here on youtube.com/randnerds or twitch.tv/randnerds. No, actually, just twitch.tv/randnerds, not youtube.com, because that doesn't happen. We don't going to be playing. We're going to finish some 2-player games, and we're going to have fun. Yes. And there will be videos going on the website. I'm gradually working through the backlog of editing them. I'm nearly there. I'm going to catch up. I've got a holiday coming up in August if needs be, and I'll catch up on that one. But I'm gradually working my way through them all. So
he just figured he'd save some to deliver on the weekend, but then by the time the weekend came in, he was fucking 3 days behind.
Well, the truth of the matter is, new job is sort of like I just can't face doing these at the moment. And then, unfortunately, at weekends where I normally would catch up on stuff like this, my friend of the farm has hurt himself, and I'm going there too on the weekends now to help him out. Which means when I get home, I'm knackered. So I've not had like a day off now, in like 4 or 5 weeks. So it's been
Bless
great.
you. No wonder you put your laptop in the freezer.
Exactly. So it's why I'm slightly hyper this evening. And so come join us for that one, and we'll think we're going to play. So till then, guys, thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take it easy, guys.